Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Wow, that was a great opening song. I mean, that kind of sounded a little bit like REO Speedwagon to me. That was so good. For those of us viewing online, that was a song called Holy Lamb, and I don't know who the artist was by that, but it was amazing.
Yes.
Oh, that was Yes. Yes, it was Yes. Okay, that's great. Well, wow. It just reminds me what an amazing privilege it is just to be alive and to be here with all of you and with all of you viewing online. I'm so grateful that you're all here. Let's go ahead and start the morning with an opening prayer. Beloved presence of all that is, we gather in this sacred space as vessels of light, tuning our hearts to the divine frequency that connects all paths, all beings, and all truths. As we invoke the energy of unity, we call upon the wisdom of Christ consciousness, the stillness of the Buddha nature, the pulse of the earth, and the codes of sacred geometry that harmonize our higher selves with the great cosmic pattern. May the vibrations of today's gathering awaken remembrance within us, remembrance of who we truly are, as creators, as healers, as light workers, and living embodiments of divine love. As we reflect on the harmonic convergence today with Reverend Connie and step toward a new alignment, may Spirit speak through us, move through us, and lift us up together as one. And so it is. Reverend Connie.
Thank you, Jerry, for such a beautiful prayer. I know that there are probably some people in the audience who may not know about harmonic convergence. It took place in 1987. The year was 1987, and the New Age was in full swing at that time. And the New Age, as it was called, was a time when there was a lot of spirituality being born, you might say, within people. And it went all the way into the 90s, and then it just kind of fell off the track. It was in this year of 1987 that my good friend Jana began telling me about her work, contacting people about something called harmonic convergence. It was a grassroots movement to get people to come together all over the world and meditate and pray and celebrate the idea of unified and a peaceful earth. Jana and I had met at a metaphysical church group in Anchorage, Alaska when we lived there. That was back in the 60s. Jana and her husband later moved to Lebanon, and they were very good friends of ours, and we moved to Dallas, Oregon, both of us in Oregon. We had just moved at that particular time in 1987 here to Dallas, Oregon. So I was busy with getting my life in order. And so I really didn't participate in this harmonic convergence at that time, but I knew about it. You might say that Jan and I were a couple of New Agers because we studied mystical things and metaphysics. In fact, I did so much reading of those subjects, and I have continued to this very day, 50 years later, to continue reading. You can find out a lot of very interesting information by reading. That's for you that all depend on the internet for everything. One of the men she contacted was from the South, and I don't remember exactly which state, maybe Georgia or someplace like that. And he had wound up being raised by a Jewish family, even though his original family was Christian. And so he studied their religion, and he came to a point where he wanted to really understand the meaning of the Lord's Prayer. And he took it section by section and really went back to the original Aramaic and the Greek and studied over it. I have a copy of his work that Jana gave me, but it's 169 pages or something. And I was looking for a needle in a haystack. But his prayer was that he came up with is very, very similar to what I'm going to read you that was from the original Aramaic language. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose. Yeah. But illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole again. Very different from what our school's like, but very interesting. So I'd like to give you some background information about harmonic convergence. This was a time when people all over the earth came together. They tried to synchronize it to one time, but of course, you know how the earth is. It wasn't quite like that, and it really doesn't matter. I'm not working with any synchronization today about this. Let me give you some information about the first time the peoples of earth came together and put forth this plea to the Creator for a harmonious and peaceful earth. The first harmonic convergence was held on August 16th and 17th in the year of 1987. It was a globally synchronized meditation, prayer, celebration event. It was organized by Jose and Lyodine Aruglias, who were researchers and students of the Mayan calendar. And if you don't know it, there was actually more than one Mayan calendar, but this was the one that had to do with the ending of it in 2012. They gave the name to this event Harmonic Convergence. Their aim was to bring people together to usher in a new era of global harmony and spiritual awakening. That was the purpose of it. It was based, on a rare planetary alignment predicted by the Mayan calendar, which was believed to mark a significant shift in the Earth's energy. And we've been talking about energy being the basis of everything recently. Therefore, the event would take place when it could coincide with this rare alignment of the sun, moon, and 6 planets, described in astrology as a grand trine. The harmonic convergence was envisioned as a catalyst for positive change, a shift towards global unity, an awakening of consciousness. While the event garnered significant media coverage, attention, and participation, there were also critics that questioned the validity of the astrological prediction and actual impact of the event on global events. Today, this event has been seen as a key moment in the New Age movement. It emphasized spiritual awakening, environmentalism, and global interconnectedness, and was intended to promote living in closer harmony with one another. It was to help end world hunger, wars, and suffering. Wouldn't we like that all to happen, even today? In the United States, it was interesting that one of these events was held at like a golf course in Iowa, I believe. Others were held at sacred sites all over the world, and there were thousands of people that took part in this. I found it also very interesting about this event having taken place during the era called the New Age. At one time, our center's founder, Reverend J. Smith, had put on the sign for this center, which at that time was known more as a church, New Age Church and Living Healing Center. I remember seeing that sign and thinking, oh, that's interesting. I believe it showed the public that a principal belief for this facility was bringing the principles of love, peace, and harmony into our world. We do that by mastering ourselves on an everyday basis. That's our little saying. Yes. Let us now come forward from this historical event and look at the call we are receiving to hold another harmonic convergence. A few weeks ago, I received on my messenger a call for the second harmonic convergence through a woman named Ruth Zotis. And I sent it to some of you on Messenger, and I've talked to a number of you about this, and I also spoke with Reverend Don over at Woodland Chapel about this event. So I tried to get the message out as best I could about it. I felt very strongly that this is a time that we need this message again, that we need to put this out again, mostly for our own remembrance. I'm sure that God remembers, or whatever we want to call that higher being. Just a little background about Ruth herself. She was somebody that came here during the COVID thing and was here for a short period of time. And so some of you probably never met her, but she moved down to Texas, and she's been very much involved in metaphysical thinking and psychic abilities for quite some time. I'm going to move on now to a message from a man named Sam Richard that I feel tells us about what we're up against today. Facing considerable political, economic, and social and ecological crises, the human race is desperate for transformation and new direction. I think this is so true. Business as usual ensures that we are doomed to run a course of half-conscious self-destruction, he says. As man-made catastrophes multiply and the stress mounts at every aspect of life, we must overthrow our ignorance, as it has become a fearful master, goading us into war, pollution, waste, and exploitation. I feel like Richard that we must quit being ignorant. We have to quit ignoring some of the things that we're seeing out there. We don't want to let them bring chaos and fear into our lives, but we do want to recognize that there is something going on. And it's the tearing down of the old to make room for the new. So it isn't really anything that we should be terribly afraid of or judge. We just need to kind of sit back and drift with it in some respects. Each one of us is here to, by choice, to play a vital role in this if we so choose. He goes on to say, yet paradoxically, the individual offers the lonesome opportunity to avert the catastrophes we are engineering for ourselves. Yes, remember, who creates the reality that we're experiencing? We do. We do. Maybe we don't feel that's a truth, but it is a truth. We do a lot of it at a subconscious level. Even in our dream states and our sleeping states, we may be gathering with many other souls to put forth what we want in this world. And of course, there are those that are putting forth maybe what we prefer not to experience in this world. Over and over again, we've given this message from the Home Spiritual Center's pulpit that many of us are here today as spiritual workers. We're here for a mission, for a purpose. We've talked about this. Light workers. Each soul who is here as a light worker came to assist in this transformation and this ascension process. They are not only here for this planetary work, though, but also to achieve this for their self-mastery, to be able to come into a human body, have amnesia, and yet begin to recognize the truth of who they really are, which is a spiritual being having a human experience. And we didn't come here to be boggled down in fear and chaos and sickness and crippling disease. We came here for a different purpose than that. So why did we choose this? Because the cry for help that was heard in the heavenly realms and by the Creator came through the prayers and the meditations of that first harmonic convergence. That's something that I've read that's come through channeling, is that awakened something within Creator. And so those prayers were answered by the Creator, who told his spirit team of angels, masters, and other light love energy beings. He told them the quarantine that has been placed on the earth for a long period of time, because this energy that we created here was so strong, so destructive of a type of nature that other planets didn't want that. And Creator didn't want that on other planets. Therefore, we were quarantined. Can you imagine that? Something was put around Earth and it was hands off. But there were some sneaky ones that could manage to get in. But he lifted it and he said, now you are free to give aid and help Gaia. So we are being aided by the angels, the archangels, and other beings of light and love to help us raise our consciousness, to help us. So we're telling them, yeah, we want this. We want this. The time feels right to ask for it again. Going back to the words of Sam Pritchard, it goes on to say, human consciousness has a critical role to play in our collective destiny. And there is a seismic shift occurring here that is creating a rising class of conscious people to be better equipped than ever before to deal with such a chaotic environment. Do we feel this, people? I hope so. Certainly, if one looks at the outer world as it stands today, we see that Mr. Pritchard's words relate to this time and place where we earthlings find ourselves today. Quoting once more from Pritchard, the world, we might say, has been going through a dark night of the soul. We have been in a state of mass consciousness and a consensus trance. This is which we were programmed, where we were programmed to accept as real life. We were programmed to accept what we see out here as our reality. But we can change that. We don't have to be subject to that. We didn't have to be obedient to it. It doesn't have to be that we go into those worst scenarios, those worst beliefs, those worst fears. It's not needed. We are here let's see, I gotta get my words right here. Now we are hearing that many people have awakened to an understanding of this truth. Then they are able to begin to take on their true nature as co-creators when we recognize this, that we have kind of been enslaved, you might say. Then we can take our place in this shift and make a difference. This is the shift of the ages that's been talked about and mentioned throughout prophecy throughout the world. It's not just in the Mayan prophecy, it's in the Hopis, it's in a lot of native cultures that this is the time for this big, great shift to occur. And that's what inspired the Arugulases to study this prophecy and planetary alignment mentioned in the Mayan calendar and set up Harmonic Convergence in 1987. The world is shifting, and the energies of change are upon the people and their planet. That's what's happening right now. We're in this big change. Therefore, one might ask theirself, what changes can I make in myself? And how can I go about life that will impact the whole? Therefore, I believe we as individuals can make a difference in our world. That is why I also believe in the words of Christ Jesus. He was a master teacher that came to earth. And he said, I will be amongst you when you gather 1, 2, 3 or more. When we come together like this, that energy that he brought here with him and in that part of him that was connected to Creator, we have that. We have that. And when we come together, we can bring it forward and create in a far better manner than we can just even individually. But we have to remember that. We have to remember we're co-creators with this great energy of spirit. In this message this morning, I mentioned that the first harmonic conversion took place when there was a rare grand trine with the moon, the sun, and 6 planets coming together. A grand trine in astrology is when planetary bodies come in close proximity and create kind of a picture or a symbol, you might say. And right now, this month, this is what has been reported by Donna Taylor, an astrologist. She says that this is the month of evolution, when it is our main theme this month is evolution. What a greater time to have a harmonic convergence. In this grand trine that is happening right now, she goes on to explain that this one began on the full moon on the 9th and will run through the 18th. And what it is an alignment that's called a mystical triangle, or rectangle, mystical rectangle. It will form between Mercury, Mars, Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune. This appears in the shape of a doorway. And this portal is open, like I said, from the 9th to the 18th. So it's open until tomorrow. So move through this time, she says, period with conscious awareness, focusing on what we need to do to recognize the opposites within ourselves and to bridge the gap between 3D reality and 5D reality. That shift of energies. This is a clearing out of our old, no longer relevant beliefs and working on the thoughts we are thinking. This has been advised that we do this clearing. Even Reverend Jay was talking about cleaning out the closet back a number of years back. It's time. And many of us are having emotional things come up and old memories from time past that maybe we need to forgive ourselves and others about. That's happening to us. We're clearing this out. We're getting ready. What are we getting ready for? Wham, expansion, evolution, ascension. So, going on with Miss Taylor's message, no sooner is this mystical triangle, or I want to call it a triangle, but it's a rectangle, finishes its occurrence, then a rare kite trine happens. And it's also known as a yod, or the finger of God. And it begins to take form by the planets, the same planets. The finger of God is like a celestial compass pointing true north and directs us to what we need to accomplish. Yeah. Okay. And that accomplishment is on the esoteric and evolutionary level. It effectively creates a gateway through which the divine will or karmic purpose manifests and shows us the direction that we need to take in order to transcend the old paradigms that are keeping us down. I found this information interesting about these two rare great trines occurring in August because it was also the appearance of a rare great trine that helped the Arugalists, I don't know, I'm probably killing their name, to choose the dates of the 16th and 17th of August in 1987 for that first harmonic convergence, because this is also the time that's been chosen for this second one to occur. Today, there are those around the world that have been invited to participate in this event on the 16th and 17th of this August. So let us believe that it will kick us up a notch, as the famous chef Emerald Lagasse used to say, as he poured cayenne pepper on things. Let's kick it up a notch. Let's put some fire under ourselves and get with the program.
Bam!
Yes. Don't we all want that upgrade into fifth dimensional reality?
Yes.
Into the golden age?
Yes.
And all that it promises for us? Yeah. Okay. I would like now to lead us into a time of meditation and a short prayer. And Jerry's going to come up and he's going to play this huge crystal bowl, which vibrates at a very low tone, which is the closest we can do with musical instrument of any sort, I guess, at this time, to the sound of Mother Earth's tone, which was interesting. And the message I received from Ruth was that first word she used on it was that we would bring the tone to Earth. Not sure what she meant by that, but so this inspired me to ask Jerry to do this. It takes a few minutes to get it going. So let me just explain a little bit here. We're going to hear the tone, and I'm going to ask you to join me in doing 3 alms, and then we're going to have a short moment of meditation, followed by a prayer and a prayer that is a response. I will say something and then have you repeat it. And that's what we're going to be doing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm having kind of a morning. I was awakened many times last night. Can you hear that? I can feel it. Can you feel it? I don't know if you can all the way back there.
Sure they can.
All right. Let's come together now. Get comfortable in your seat. You might want to close your eyes. And let's do 3 ohms together. Using your imagination. Using your imagination, see yourself in a beautiful and flat field. Here you're going to dance. Begin to whirl around and around with your arms extended. Many of you may have done this as a child. It actually aligns our chakras. As you are spinning around, see yourself lifting off the ground and continuing to spin, spiraling upward as you dance. Spiraling upward, upward. Begin now to come back down. Down your spiral, down, 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 back into your field, and then come forward back into your seat. We're going to go now into a peace prayer. It goes like this. You will repeat these words. Peace, peace in all things. Peace, peace in all things. Next. Peace within. Peace within. Next. Peace without. Peace without. And peace on earth.
Peace on earth.
This next one is a little bit more lengthy, so we'll break it. The loving peace of the Creator.
The loving peace of the Creator
Surrounds and touches all things on this.
surrounds and touches all things on this,
Our planet Earth, Gaia.
our planet Earth, Gaia.
Peace in all things.
Peace in all things.
Peace on earth.
Peace on earth.
So be it, and so it is.
So be it, and so it is.
Amen.
Amen.
Now let us pause and reflect on these words a moment. This is what we are looking for, is peace. Peace on earth. Peace, peace, peace. Peace on earth.
Peace, peace, peace.
This day we have celebrated with joy and prayers, and we hope this prayer, we know this prayer will come into fruition. Thank you. Knowing whatsoever we have asked shall be given unto us. In gratitude, we are now complete. Thank you all for participating in this Harmonic Convergence Day. Okay, we're going to go into our offering next. We're going to go into our offering next. So if you want to take your gift, whatever it may be, into your hands and bless it. It can be monetary, it can be just your intent to give service to the church, or there's a PayPal little thing on the basket that will go around that can be used. We take and we bless these gifts, knowing that they are a creative energy that comes into this center to help us to have all that we need here to continue having this beautiful community. And that this energy will go out into our community and beyond to bless others with its gift and come back unto us brimming over with all that we will need for our wants, needs, and desires. And so we let this be. Amen. Okay. Okay. Reverend Jerry's going to come up now and give us an inspirational story and a closing prayer. This one for you.
Hi again, everybody. I don't have an inspirational story per se today because I want to remind everyone of the Mind Body Spirit Fair that's coming up on the 23rd, next Saturday. Yes, and we're going to be running from 9 until
11 until 5.
Oh yes, it's the people who are working there who have to show up at 9. Yes. So from 11 to 5, come see us in Salem, Oregon for the Mind Body Spirit Fair. It's the longest running in the state. And I also wanted to thank Connie for a great message today. Man, I was looking out and that's awesome. I was looking out and like myself, I saw many of you taking notes. Like my prayers that I wrote today are just like almost overflowing with notes. One of them is the following. At Connie's opening, at Reverend Connie's opening, she said that she's not working with any synchronicities today, right? As they did with this great planetary alignment in 1987. Well, guess what? If you'll check your phones after service, you'll find that there are actually 6 planets in alignment this morning, including Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and the moon has actually joined the party. So we have the sacred feminine involved with that alignment as well, which is pretty awesome. So nice work on that. Absolutely. And so if you'll all join me in our closing prayer, we'll close our circle here this morning. Infinite source of love and light, as we close this sacred gathering, we give thanks for the resonance we've shared, for the truths that we've explored, and for the vision that has been seeded in the fertile soil of our consciousness. We honor the ancestors, our angels, the ascended ones, and the frequencies that have joined us unseen, guiding us gently on our path of awakening. Let the harmonic codes activated today ripple through our lives, radiating peace, clarity, and sacred purpose. May we walk forward in joy, with open hearts and higher awareness, co-creating a world of compassion, coherence, and divine alignment. We are the convergence. We are the light. We are the way. And so it is. And for those of you joining us online, thank you so much. It is our honor and pleasure to have you with us, no matter where you are in the world or what time of day it is. That closes our meeting tonight, this afternoon. Goodbye. Thank you very much.